but these are things that weren't part of my daily routine by any means. And I think what happened is I started approaching 40, and the sort of inevitable gong of the sound of my own mortality happened, and I started just thinking a little bit more about how I'm treating my body, and it was never that bad, but just to be more conscious of it. So I actually went to
We often talk about personalized nutrition at TAILORBLEND, and the idea that you can create a supplement choosing your ingredients, your dosages, and that concept doesn't really always land first time or doesn't sink in. So I thought, what better way to actually just chat to our real users and hear exactly what it's like for them to use TAILORBLEND on a daily basis. So that's exactly what we're doing with you. And Bryan, you are a longtime friend of mine, and you've been using TAILORBLEND for a couple of years. So I thought you're the perfect person to talk to. I know you're someone whose calendar is always very, very full, and you're always getting the most out of life. But I also know that health is a big priority for you. So take me back to before TAILORBLEND. What was your health routine like then?
So the honest truth is that I have been sort of conscious of healthy eating, of exercise, but supplementation was never really high on my list of priorities. I think when I was in school, creatine was something that like sort of very select few really jacked guys who wanted to be bodybuilders took. It was something that wasn't a common thing to take, for instance. So like for me, the idea of supplementation made sense when it came to maybe vitamins and sort of maybe magnesium for sleep, but these are things that weren't part of my daily routine by any means. And I think what happened is I started approaching 40, and the sort of inevitable gong of the sound of my own mortality happened, and I started just thinking a little bit more about how I'm treating my body, and it was never that bad, but just to be more conscious of it. So I actually went to a healthcare professional, a doctor who specializes in sort of longevity type medicine, or what do we call health?
Preventative health?
Yeah, preventative health medicine. Did a whole bunch of scans, did my bloods, did the whole number, and got some sort of very clear guidelines as to what I should be taking every day. That would help me from a cognitive perspective, from a sleep perspective, from an energy perspective, just from an overall general health perspective. And so I, at the same time, I've always I'm one of those people that does bits and pieces of exercise over the course of my life. I'm very poor at consistency, but we'll do a comrades and then not do anything for 10 years, and then we'll run the Otter Trail and then forget about running for a while. And again, one of those things where I've been trying to build strength over these, I think I binge exercise. It's just it's like massive a thing and then kind of let myself go for a bit. So
yeah,
to try and build a more consistent exercise regime as well, I basically, around the time I met you, was around the time that I started to be sort of a little more conscious of supplementation in general.
Bryan, when did you hear about TAILORBLEND first?
Yeah, it's actually when I met you, and so it was a couple of years ago, in the middle of the Karoo, and you were serving up really great smoothies and protein shakes, and we got chatting, and you just sort of explained what it is that you guys do, and I was like, this is because up until that point I'd been buying all the bits and pieces every month at a massive expense, of course, and building the vitamin regime, and the regimen of the vitamins particularly was expensive, where it's all my magnesiums and the B complexes and all these things and zincs and that I've been chucking in and purchasing this and it was thousands of rands a month, let alone my sort of protein, where I was taking whey and collagen and creatine. And again, all three of those things individually were cost, and my shelves were full, and every day I was sitting there with this pile of pills that I had to then chuck in my mouth. So when you told me what it is that you guys do, it just it made total sense. I was like, this this is the simplification of all of this. And yeah, and so that I pretty much got on board straight away. I've been preaching the words since then.
Amazing. You are one of the few people that actually gets it first time. Well, not the few people, but some people it just doesn't. You're so used to going to the discount and selecting the products that are out there. Bryan, walk me through your blend specifically. What exactly happened to get to the ingredients that you chose? I know you saw a health professional and she gave you some advice. Yeah, what did that look like?
The first thing, I've got my protein blend. I even brought it here for the purposes of this conversation, so because I'm bad at remembering things. So, but in my protein blend, it's whey protein, creatine, and what's the name? Collagen. And I mix and match my flavors over the course of the month. So sometimes stick with one thing for a while, sometimes kind of bounce around, but you know, at the moment I'm on vanilla ice cream. Very lekker. And I buy quite a big sort of, I like to get 2 months worth at a time because it feels kind of better for me.
Yeah.
Then my health blend, so that's a pretty simple active person's sort of mix of things to take every day. I think, you know, especially with my gymming, I've been really enjoying this blend. Health blend, that's where I got the my health longevity person, doctor, to supervise and so you and I chatted a bit and you gave me some advice as well, and then she came back and went, cool. She looked through and I mean, and she continues to use you guys as well, and she continues to prescribe you guys to her patients. I think where it was good for me is like, I see all these terms and phrases and I've just got no idea what any of them mean, what they do. And although you put them on the website, I've got a poor attention span. So it was lucky for me to have someone customize a thing very much according to my bloods. And so, you know, the zinc amount that was put in there was very specific to where I am in terms of, you know, where my bloods are. I'm actually due, I think, for another round of bloods to check where I'm at. I haven't sort of done it in probably a year and a half. I'm maybe meant to have gone back at the beginning of this year.
Sure.
Yeah, that's going to be my plan to then. And she's constantly tweaking. I think as more papers come out, or as you know, as the science changes, or sometimes people get the community gets very excited about some product. And then kind of everyone realizes this actually doesn't do everything that people think it does. So I'll add something in or take something out as I go. So it's a bit of a fluid sort of thing. But luckily, you know, we're able to sort of change it every month as well. So
awesome, perfect. I think we remember chatting to you briefly about the B vitamins and having those in your blend for your specific blood results, which was very cool to add that. And it'll be nice to hear your results from your blood tests that you do. See if there's a change over time. But on that note, have you noticed anything in yourself, in your health, how you've been feeling since using your blend?
Yeah, I mean, definitely been feeling good. I think look from my side, there's been the muscle mass has been hugely improved, but that's also like I'm someone who didn't really go through a good protein / creatine program at all up until now. So that, you know, from the protein blend side, I've definitely seen an improvement in muscle mass and strength. And then generally feeling good. I'm exhausted, but that's just because I was telling you I've got 4 puppies at my house at the moment that I'm puppy sitting. So, but I don't think that's the fault of the vitamins. I think that's just the dogs.
Yeah, well, it's hopefully the reason why you're still going and you're up at 7:30.
Exactly. No, but feeling good. Feeling great. Like I don't remember being sick since I've started taking sort of with the supplements, and feeling like a
awesome. Yeah, if you had a friend or family member wanting to start taking their health seriously, like you, reaching 40 or some point in their life where like you need to start focusing on my health, what would you tell them, and what piece of advice could you share with them?
I think one getting a sense of where your body's at is really important. So I think it's one thing to investigate supplementation. I think it's another thing understanding where you are, right? And I think for me it was quite a watershed moment when I thought about it, and I was like, the thing that really did it for me was that I realized I've got so much history of heart issues in my family, like strokes, triple, quadruple bypasses, just a lot of diabetes. It's rampant in my family, and it took me filling in my family history to recognize that. It's a thing that you kind of go, oh yeah, grandpa died of that, and the other grandpa died of that, but didn't realize that that's what was going on. So there was an automatic sense of like, well, from a familial perspective, that's where I'm headed, right? So I think getting an understanding of where you could be going, and it's not saying you're going to go there, but just where you could be going. Know what your, we all know what our weak spots are, right? And sort of helping work on those weak spots now, so that we aren't just sliding downhill and that you can actually live a happy. So my goal was that I can still go to festivals when I'm 80, right? So that's what I'm trying to work towards, right? So I want to be able to get on a plane, get on a fur coat, stick on my boots, and stomp around in the deserts at 80. But that requires a lot of work now, and understanding where you are internally, what your bloods are looking like, what are your testosterone levels looking like, what are your, where are your hormones at, where are your sort of, all the other markers at, and then helping to balance those out, right? And I think once you get an understanding of where you are, what's great about what you guys offer is that when we come, that we can come to you with those results, and you guys you don't need to get a fancy doctor like I did, that you can go to you guys and get the advice you need to sort of work through the supplements that you need for your body and your system. And it's the customization that makes it work, right? Because we all are different, and we all require different things. Like I needed more zinc.
Absolutely. Yeah, just two things on that. I think the people are often afraid to look under the hood of their body and their health. Like, what is the picture going on? Often afraid of what they're going to find. But I mean, information and knowledge is power in this situation. And to be, like you said, the moment that someone asked you, what is your medical history, or what are you predisposed to, or even your genetics, they can tell a lot about your predispositions. It can be scary. It can be something that you might not feel comfortable knowing, but knowing that means you can start to supplement, you can start to change your lifestyle and do these things that become habits that make you live to 80 and still going to festivals. So 100% with you on that. And then it's just awesome that you can evolve your routine and your supplement with you as you get older. Your needs are going to change. They're never going to stay the same, which is awesome.